I can't taste food if it doesn't have mayo. Like, that's a thing. It's a defect. It's a disease. I have a disability. It's called mayonnaise. Is the only thing that is tasteable on food. I eat everything in mayonnaise. Do you understand? So because ngidla yonke into ngemayo, y'all, uma wami uthenga imayo nje engaka ithaba and yena akayidli, usisi makayidli yimi nje kuphela and efela kamandi. Ngithela ngare Tabasco sauce on the food of an Indian, on everything. I slather it on ukudla kwami engathi it's tomato paste on the base of a pizza. Listen, that's how much I eat mayo. We hate tiki mole tshwantse ke stop. Ai ke tlo stopela eng? Le tsukiri ke ja hure bathong. Ke mosesane for motho janga bohloko so. Anyway, nonetheless, ngilala mayonnaise ingathi like I'm gulping it after a season of being parched, right? That's how I be eating mayonnaise in these streets. So since those are my mayonnaise consumption habits, and all these months mayonnaise in irregular karabo. And every month without fail irregular. This time around my mom came back after buying groceries ka mayo ekana dog. Like a tabiana enga. It's like she got given a dream where I was likely saying to her in that dream, you're always gonna do what I want you to do for me. You're always gonna grovel at my feet, and I'm never gonna be with some idiot married man. I'm not gonna do what mistakes that you made. I'm not like, I could talk on fella that made her feel like with spite. She was given some dream. A dude sows discord between me and my family, says you will never buy money, not buy again. You will never buy again. Largely my mom, and every so often gets from my sister. So and I told you my sister so this month December listen, get festive dog. Get December, boss. All of y'all out to be splurging. Get December. It's festive season. And yet Karawa doesn't even have 1 cent. That level of insensitivity. It's not even any random regular March. It's not some stupid whatever drat month in the year. Like a little bit of EA bread. It's December. And next. I have no money. I was concerned about my skincare. I was concerned about my tampons. I was I need to buy things. What decided not only am I going to not give you money, but I'm also going to lessen the things that only you eat. I got a dream the night before she bought groceries where it is that I go on my period every month, and my period I get these period pains and I need to take pain meds for them. Grandpa for my pain meds. I use grandpa for any kind of pain that I have, if at all I have a pain, right? Yeah. I had a dream where I saw a grocery shelf discount, and on this grocery shelf were just 3 items. And one of the items was a small 12-pack grandpa, a bottle of something, and another, and 2 little other things. 2 other things. I saw a small little box grandpa and 2 other things, and I can't tell you what those 2 other things were. But I just remember seeing only that on like a shelf, groceries. Got discount. In my dream, when I woke up, I couldn't understand the thing until my mom bought groceries. I did, however, before then I had already had a dream of abuti ona, ntatengana ona was kiloho. Cause Papa, I'm actually giving him more character like afflictions. Alright? I had already dreamt about him saying she will never spend money again, right? And then I see the dream of Grandpa Enya Nefela sitting next to 2 other little bottles of something. Lo and behold, the next day my mom buys groceries. I had complained the previous month that the domestic worker stole my tampons, because she did that. Tampon that I had stored in some place in the house. Won't get my tampons after she left. And I was upset, and I told my mom, and she called me entitled, right? For basically asking her to replenish the tampons that the cleaning lady stole. The pads. They're used. Anyway, whatever. So she stole my tampons. And I complained. What did God do? Tsukiri in the house. Elastang month upon month upon month. Nayo yavosa. Anyisho ustinch. And I warned her that the domestic worker got sticky fingers. Wa ignore my warnings because she's at war with me. Tsukiri kimo that we replenish after 4 or 5 months, because last time she has had to buy it now every single month. Where's that saying tsukiri? Igutseke mahotlo other occult no. Sister opincha yona ma tampon. Uhamba magaya ekaya every Saturday. Futhi No sugar. So God is like, you don't listen to my daughter. She warns you about things going on mocharating. So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to put a hole in the sack of your grain. And it's going to actually leak, spill out, such that by the time you get to your motherland, having purchased grain from Egypt, your camels will not have forewarned you that, listen, I feel like there's a load lightning on my back over here. Listen, there is a load lightning here on my back. Kupa ucheke Benjamin, kupa ucheke Judah, Reuben. Kalan check in. But no, I could check and look at grain Aja falling out of your sack, making like the breadcrumbs of Hansel and Gretel, and the birds eating those crumbs. So therefore you can't even figure out where it is under heaven that you can locate your lost money. When you wreak havoc in God's people's lives, He will do supernatural things of that nature, and so therefore restore to health, wealth, and prosperity the heart of their children. Of his children. You already give me just 200, like 500 rand, 600 a month. It's not much. Mara, I needed to actually be purchasing my retinol. I needed to actually making sure I don't get acne. I needed for my skincare, and I also needed to make sure that I've always got painkillers for my period pains and this and the other. There are things I needed for, and this time around, I was basically earmarking that money to take my stuff out from Temu. And God was like, you think you can out here spitefully harass my child? How could the mo bonsa o lorile? O batla o montshetsa squinch. Hu lokile mme. Do you khalo ka le ka ngwana ka ntse mo rekisa school uniform ko lost and found? Dalu kalile mo karaba. Mme to khalo o qadile ka ngwana ka. You've been at it. Mara this time around, she's been put on the precipice of death by abamo bot matlesa ba makwenya meno ba shelang bana ba di school uniform ba le bagole. Ba le batona ba le ditotla. Bana le basadi ba teng ba busy ba shela bana in school uniform. My daughter is being pursued by licentious men. Ngwanaka is being harassed by amadota nje that have no business hanging out in any women's lives. They've given wives STDs, they've done ABC, but desperate. Bana. Babata unka ngwanaka karabo iseng wa hao. I get when you've made yourself a surrogate. They want to take my daughter and they want to squander her and put her as a wife in the house of a man with a litany of STDs. Cause o sense lenyalo la hai, mara o gopola seriti sa mosadi o batla ho lonka kretcha ya bana a lo etsa karabo neni ya teng mara a inyetseng ko ntlong ya hae. When I'm not that I want to do that with my daughter, when I'm doing a different thing, lo muntu lana o ngithandazele, and then you decide ukuthi uzomufraza, and since you will never settle for that, seeing as you are robbing her of enablement, obolo cause ngwana ka hore a ideate suicide cause ke tla etsang ke phela bophelo bo botlhoko so ke a sebetsa ke sotlegile. Next thing, I don't even have money to take my stuff out of Temu. I don't even have money to take my stuff out of duties, paid duties, to take it out of fast way couriers. I can actually take my skincare. Or ke ska hlaya di-pimple, or ke ska hlaya acne because I've got acne prone skin. I've got a routine on my face that works. I've got a skincare routine that works. And I was like, God, I work so hard. These people bewitch me. And I speak in my video saying, I've done work in the hearts of my family members. It's not gonna retract. And then next thing, a spell is cast. And I see that spell. The next day, I dream about scant grandpa. Not even 38 that usually my mom buys. And then it's on like a grow. It's on discount shelves. It's on a fella there. Discount shelves. The next day after me getting that dream, she comes back home after buying groceries for the month, and mayonnaise yaka eki maya baza we reduce it ekana. So basically tshwantse ke tsipe mayonnaise. And after noticing the mayonnaise, then tampons. I get complain about tampons last month. My mother usually buys me baza ekana ya di super tampons or ya di maxi tampons. The biggest box you can find. When I ask her for tampons, uletha leyo enkulu ibhokisi yama tampon. It's in the kitchen, otherwise I will show it to you. Box, basically that would last me 1 cycle. Usually box ke rekanya di tampon last 3 to 4 cycles cause inga the tampon sitting at. Boxing yana enyane ekana kere mosadi, are you gonna tell me that how naturally to a point where utlong tsipa ke di tampon? Fine, the period that I'm gonna get this month, indeed, I will be able to use these tampons. Mara tshwantse jwanong ne ke ntse ke kokota mo monya ko wa hao. Tampon. You do remember that I'm 41, right? So essentially, and then however, a 38-year grandpa. So she bought the whole grandpa. It's in 12 ekibone. But that dream that God showed me was that smaller versions of what you're used to. So a 38-year grandpa, she did buy that. Mara, instead of 38, instead of grandpa being the representative thing, the tampon instead of the regular big ones, that if at all she gets me tampons, because largely I buy my own tampons, uzotenga amanini, right? No, mayonnaise on that discount shelf I only saw grandpa, two little things in yan. And that's all that there was on the discount shelf. Waleta mayonnaise, the smallest that she could find. Waleta futi. Nama tampon. I feel nyana just enough for one period cycle. And I was like, what's going on with this woman? Why did she buy such small tampons, and why, knowing that I be out there drinking mayonnaise like in Bamba? Why did she this time around? It's almost, I could tell that it was an attack on me. And I concluded that Bamulo receipts, and that the dream that I got about this guy saying she will never spend money again, it was catching. And I felt so disillusioned. I felt so disillusioned that I was like, Kantiri tapelotaka hari catching, God. Just like that. But remember, the night before, the Lord, not night, but day before, when I was in the kitchen, I got a word of understanding that solar panels. The Lord already told me that and then solar panels and they are going to cost her more money because of hurting you than whatever it would have cost her for her to just part ways with 600 rands, 700 rands, 500. Listen, that's all that she gives me. She doesn't even give me Tao, dog. The only one that gave me, my sister's one, that Archer parts ways with my 2,500 rands in one sitting. She's the generous one. She's kind of recovering to that. My mom, however, 600. It's always been like that with her since I was a kid. 600, inflation is not a thing. So when I was finally independent, I was able to take care of myself. No, she wouldn't even give me 600 bucks. Mara, the toy that she is now having to spend money on cost way more than 600 bucks. I ran out of face wash. I was planning on replenishing face wash, and I remember just feeling sorry for myself on some. So must I now use regular Lux soap or one of their face washes that are very lackluster? I always look at ingredients on a skincare, and I've got a routine that is it's sensitive because I'm acne prone. So I will break out, and I also got a dream where this chick at YouTube tried to put acne on my face. I am acne prone, but I have cleared my acne, and I don't need, like, my hyperpigmentation is even fading, largely faded. Do you understand? So when I am able to maintain no acne on my face, you know, I'm like, yeah, I have bossed a skincare routine. I have bossed it because me swim about discovering these skincare streets. I'm that girl. So seeing as I have already bossed Ingati, I'm a guru skincare, I have to keep on buying my azelaic acid, I have to keep on buying my retinol, I have to keep on buying my particular brand of face wash. I have to I wash my face twice a day. I use certain skincare creams, my kojic acid. Yeah, wouldn't is into that keep my skin clear. And so therefore no more hyperpigmentation, and it's such a boss routine that even on my period I don't even get that acne that be out there walking around hormonally. I don't anymore, because listen, I have bossed a skincare routine. Skincare was unlike him. For I'm a dermatologist, I will show you some life. I've bossed skincare. And I guess I got cheap. We either got Temu or Chinatown. I don't need much money to keep myself in a bunch. The Lord has seen that people around me are miserly, so therefore He has made sure that I am maintained in what I need. Yeah, no, I can skincare, and after my skincare, my face wash and I was like squeezing it out, gave for study remnants, starting it's a majela. But by the time month end came, I was pretty much on my last drop, and I needed now to replenish face wash. And I was going to buy it from Take a Lot, or I was going to, it's like this kojic acid face wash. I need something with kojic acid in my face wash or vitamin C. So if at all it's not like a fruit face wash that has like maybe turmeric and ginger, maybe kojic acid, it must have kojic acid. Because listen, my skin loves kojic acid, and it really goes a long way to keep acne at bay. And I must also have something with kojic acid in it in my daycare. There are things I need. It's what I'm getting at. Otherwise, I break out into acne, and then while I might heal acne once I get my products again, by then I've got like this acne scarring that's gonna take how long to fade again? It's like, listen, are you coming like mamela boloi ba dinja tsa satanetse sekere hore bona ba iphile matla ba tloetsa straight mo pela ka mapona pona ka nnete. You are allowing people to put acne on my face because they have done a face curse when I have bossed a skincare routine, and you are also trying to force me on the loins of indoda and jefelanga madisi maningi that's gonna try and make out of me his crash mama. Ka bana ba gage ba guy a ke ba batle mara o tlo nketsa step mom sa teng a ke ba batle o batla nketsa nani name Fran before ke tlo ba Francesca out here marrying the guy to whom I am the nanny of his children. I will die. So what happened? Listen, it fulfilled their prophecies, their satanic prophecies. I became highly suicidal. I was like, clearly God, and it appears you are content with my suicide, because I would never ever end up nalamopot maresang batandi. And you know, if I was to end up married to one of them, you know that I'm angry enough to commit murder. You know. And so it is the right thing that I do to avoid marrying them. You know. The way I even fantasize about ushona kwabo. So a woman that has had that kind of heart against amadoda that are hurting her, why would you leave me at the mercy of them? So since I would never end up like that, and since I trusted you to make sure that their witchcraft is not going to work, why is it working? And before I even started to complain to God like this, he had already told me day before solar panels. Before I even spoke a word out of my mouth of lament, of groaning, of complaint, the Lord had already planned to make my mom spend way more money than she is pinching from my pocket, letting her know that for as long as my daughter has nothing, your microwave will break. For as long as my daughter has nothing, your washing machine will break. As long as my daughter has nothing, you will have to keep on going back to Pick n Pay. You will have to go back to Mr. Price Home. You will have to go back to all these furniture stores and buy more. You will keep on having to go on right ahead to exploit wankutla mosadi towe. Di warranty tsa gago le di guarantee ko makgo ba tlo nne ba tse ba go lokisetsa ba go repairela microwave. For as long as my daughter again ama tampons amaningi, again ama mayonnaise yakhe yonke, again a kojic acid yakhe for ubuso, again skincare, again for as long as my daughter is facing a resurgence of acne on her face, stuff in your house is gonna keep breaking. Stuff in your house is gonna keep breaking. Letafole I noticed Maubani when I was in the house that it had unhinged from its corner. I noticed that it had become unhinged. And so because it was unhinged, I was like, was this thing moved or is it broken? It's malfunctional. In a defect. So that's why a new one was brought ejakti. For as long as my child does not have what she needs, Mamela, Otlopatala so much on other things that just keep falling. That how to reach about week it's a massive cost to either replenish, replace, or maintain my solar panels. And thanks to these panels, whatever it is that was the surge of electricity that came into the devices in Lini caused a microwave, washing machine, to stop working. And not only that particular activity, but as the days would progress, other little weird, odd things would happen so as to show me that it's not that aguna this, because I have to speak in code now, I can hear activity outside. It's not that there is no money, honey, no. It's that because and because the thing about prophetic gifting is that what you dream about, you understand that it's true, or that it's implied. You have seen enough things that you dream about come to pass to understand that it's not just a dream. So if a dream is patronizing you, if a dream is taunting you, if something in a dream is wreaking havoc, chances are there is some truth to it, if you have a prophetic gifting. And so I was probably in that dream taunting her. I was probably doing something that she was like, ha, utabona. I decided who responded to me even though I had done nothing to her. From the door, that's a woman out there putting her own daughter at the precipice of suicide. I became so suicidal. I wanted to die because I was like, I'm extremely depressed. I'm attacked by entities. I'm being harassed. I keep on getting dreams of marrying a man like my dad, and anything more than anything. I kept on in the center of all of this negligence of my person, getting the door where my dad was forcing himself to hang out with me. In one dream, and I'm like, he was all up in my girl. I understood that it wasn't my dad. I knew that it was someone like my dad. I was like, yes, I am not gonna marry a man like my dad. I loved him in the beginning of my life. By the time he passed away, I despised him. Because he went and wreaked all that havoc. And that was God showing me, that's like my dad, more life. And then make me take care of by 27,000. You're not gonna go and get whatever it is that you wanna bring, and they wanna infiltrate by acting like they're Christian. Listen, I spy. And it's like he has wreaked havoc in the life of his wife or wives. Like Edwin Sodi that prides himself in causing women to cheat on their husbands. That's what this man is like. And I'm happy he's got like a whole bunch of STDs. Listen, I'm not caving. So because I was fra and nar, and because God was not what I imagined, not answering my prayer, not hearkening to the fact that I can't afford to have nothing to myself, I can't afford to not have basic things that I need, I then imagine that maybe God is content with me being Samson, bringing down the pillars and killing more Philistines in my death than I would alive. I started to severely ideate suicide. Listen, I was like, I'm gonna kill myself because kiss my next. But then the Lord kept on telling me, resist the devil and he will flee from you. Resist, and I've already gone before until I realized I finally realized, and so now I'm doing this video and I'm talking about it. The witchcraft took, but God, even though people will be stubborn against his descendants, his children, has a thing about plaguing Egypt to cause people to let God's people go. He has a thing about giving Abimelech a dream and making him let Sarah go. He has a thing about putting pimples on Pharaoh. Never mind pimples. Boils on Pharaoh. Because you're literally holding on to Sarah. God knows how to make a person let go of something that does not belong to him. And God knows how to award mercy to the Hebrews, from the very Egyptians that enslaved them. He knows how to cause them to not only go, cause them to scoot, shoot, leave Egypt, but also leave with gold and with silver. So since I am dealing with a woman that is entirely and incredibly superstitious, she doesn't have to be godly, she doesn't have to repent, she only has to be what exactly she is to ultimately let me go to leave Egypt with her gold and with her silver. She will make me leave Egypt with her gold and her silver, because if at all my God plagues you with gnats, with locusts, if at all my God plagues you with blood water and dead animals, if at all my God plagues you with days of darkness, if at all my Lord plagues you Garinsinsi and some frogs, honey, understand, by the time you let me go, you're gonna also give me whatever it is that I needed you to give me in the first place. You're gonna give me gold. And you're gonna give me silver. You're gonna enable me to take out my stuff from fast-way couriers. It doesn't matter that some idiot animal can make my mom's house smell like fart because he has brought a demon in there. At the end of the day, that entity as it is working, the Lord says, resist the devil and he will flee from you, and over and above the devil fleeing from you. My man, the individual in question that is allowing themselves to be a puppet on the strings of devils will not be able to deal with frogs croaking in her ecosystem, will not be able to deal with gnats, will not be able to deal with locusts chewing her crop, will not be able to deal with the pestilent disease out here eating away at her animals, will not be able to deal with the firstborn dead child of Egypt. Mamela. Pharaoh is stubborn, my mom is stubborn, she's been stubborn all my life, she's been making me buy my own shoes, get my own shoes with banditry from Lost and Found. I'm dealing with a devil that I know. Mara, the same devil would never ever leave me out Estratini to grovel and beg. However, upon being superstitious, she kind of will blame it on ancestors, on some ba dimu ba kwati, for I'm not treating Karabo right. And so because Otsepa ba dimu, not even Mudimu, whether it be in the name of a fake god or a real god, you will nonetheless let God's people go. Whatever you believe in it. Whatever your deities are, let them be. But in the service of these deities, you will give my children what they need. You will give those who rightly worship what they need. You and your idol worshiper will deal with you later on Judgment Day. But as for my child, if you will let her go in the spirit of your deities or hers is irrelevant. Whether it be for the sake of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that you will let my people go, or for the sake of your own gods, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, you must let my people go to go and worship me in the wilderness. You will let my people go, whether it be for the sake of your gods that you're doing this thing, or theirs. So whether you fear the God of Karabo or your own ancestors, whatever you think this is, doesn't matter. You will nonetheless understand that your house worth of electronics is breaking apart for the sake of my child. And you will let her go. You will let her go. Herein lies the situation out here in Nakifiwa, mayonnaise nyana ekana. Kifiwa di tampon yana zekana. And then after the situation with the tampons, one day progresses. Fans are getting Fans are dead. And then because I was complaining that I don't have a fan, she was already buying mayonnaise ekana. She was already trying to pinch me. And then because the fans but they stopped working, she then went to Macro that same day. Why you telling her? I'm a fans. Macro or wherever she went and bought them. She then was like, whatever little chile there that I was gonna give you, I guess I because I had to buy you a fan. Right next to the tampon mayonnaise. Now I'm being told that I was bored because I was bored of fan, and she wouldn't let me boil in this place by myself. Thanks to Fan Ena that she got, that had to be replace a fan that I had been rolling around with all these years. Thanks to Fan thing, now I'm not gonna get any money. I was so upset that I stormed out. I walked out. But then God told me, humble yourself before the Lord, and in due season he will exalt you, casting your burdens upon me, for I care for you. I wanted to tell her where to get off WhatsApp. I also wanted to say, keep your fan and keep your little tampons and your little mayonnaise. I stopped myself because I realized that the battle is not mine but the Lord's. And I recuperated to this space and I said, at least I have tampons. I proper try to wear contentment. I was like, at least I have tampons, however, just enough for one cycle. And at least I have got mayonnaise, fella in the middle of the month. I at least have this. I have everything I need in order to live a life in godliness, but I didn't have face wash, and I thought that I could do without face wash. Watani fan, 1 second. The way I was so nar and so fraga fan in, I was prepared. because I had this one yakomorao. But then I was like, Arabo, you know you need that fan. Happy, you don't want your cat out there getting hot. You want a fan for yourself and one for your cat. And you also need 2 fans to be going sometimes at the same time in the space in order to truly circulate the air to make it cool enough for you to be responsibly able to continue doing umsebenzi oyenzayo. I wanted to leave this fan in the car, but then I was like, don't take back. Don't repay evil with evil. And do not let a person that already is trying to make you look like you're entitled and you don't deserve anything. Don't give her the satisfaction of saying, I'm not going to take your fan, because why under heaven are you trying to make this fan the reason why you are so miserly and hurting me? Why are you trying to make this fan, seeing as you're so miserly, you have an agenda, you're hurting me deliberately. Lo and behold, a day later, I'm out here sitting on the toilet seat doing my number 1 and 2, and I get a vision, seeing as I'm on the phone while I'm using the bathroom. Yeah, proper, I'm giving these details. I get a vision at that very same moment where it is that it wasn't me on the toilet seat, but my mom. And instead of holding a phone, here, feeling guilty for what she's doing to me. And then I didn't so much wake up out of that vision as I pretty much responded to it. And I said, if she feels so bad, why isn't she helping me? And the Lord was like, to her, this is a necessary evil. Listen, I don't even know what she is doing. Is doing something that she can't afford to do. So if I ended up committing suicide because I felt like God had abandoned me, she would remember all the things she was doing to me in the run-up to me dying and be like, what was I doing? It's not even as chunky as the other one, mara I got a fan. It's still in here. Because the fan is making sure that I can't get my things that I bought from Tim. Ultimately, the one is the one that was cooling my cat. Very well. So because and footing I get this one I located it again, I tata again. On some yazin, angna fan, no tate yako foot. So I went and I grabbed this whirring device, ngalala that same day with it, with 2 fans just going, and I still have yet to open that one. Because since it's been around for maybe like 4 days now. Anyway, eventually because I need it. For now. Sorry, she withholds money from me. I get upset. I calm myself down. And then she comes back that same day. Muffin, magen bean, and say 2 cheesecake. She ate half a cheesecake and took the muffin into a bedroom and ate it. So later on that night, I went and I ate the cheesecake after dinner. And then the next day, I told myself that I would eat the muffin after dinner. She decided to complain that I took her cheesecake. Why did I take both the cheesecake and the muffin? And I was like, but you bought 1 cheesecake that you ate half of and 2 muffins. What was I supposed to assume other than the fact that the remaining half of a cheesecake was mine? So I first ate the cheesecake and then I took the muffin. I didn't even respond to her for mocking me for eating her cheesecake. I was like, since when do you complain about Dijon? The next day, because she mocked me for eating her cheesecake. Just miserly activity. But Musadi is out manifesting. The next day, because she mocked me for eating her cheesecake, cheesecake anyway. And this time I see her go fridging for a day and a half to show me where I'm giving it to you now. So she was willing to give me cheesecake and to say I'm sorry for complaining about you eating my cheesecake, because frankly, you were right to assume that it was yours for the eating, but I'm still not going to give you money. Because she is responding to Bulu. She will never buy again, but she will be bought things for. Oh, mark of the beast, that's what we're doing? I can only ever be bought cheesecake, but I can't buy my own cheesecake? What did God do to basically mock this idiot that said that I would never ever buy again? And so replenish my skincare, replenish my face wash, replenish my whatnot. He will disquiet an entire city for the sake of his children. There was a day when it was raining, mvula pula rain, and there was a time historically when they had cut the water, and because of the fact that it's called kuta, they interrupted the water supply for whatever reason. When it started raining, my family and I, the domestic worker at the time that was working here, so collect our so we could flush the toilet because the water was off for a few days, enough for it to be very disturbing to our peace, and we were sick and tired of flushing our toilet namanzi that we bought from the store. Like, what in the world is going on? Like, it was too much, right? So I got a bright idea to actually be collecting water from the rain outside, because it started to rain after a few days of Messi ailing off. We were told by Joburg Water that they're going to turn off water, so it was anticipated, but at some point it got exhausting because we were running out of water. And I collected amanzi manje on that day. Rainwater, and I used it to flush the toilets. Yeah, to the toilet. So we basically have a history of exploiting invula. I get it. I can really say momo South Africa. Nze khona pula ure saruri nje fela on a loop. Nze khona pula bo girls bo guys. To a point where it was so bad that there was heavy hail that actually destroyed houses and cars, in particular in Cape Town. It's been raining all throughout the country. To a point where I ought to be trying to give a little bit of this water to the Iranians. We got too much rain, they got no rain. And I remember thinking that this rain is a judgment from the Lord because it's just lingering and lingering. Anyway, I'm sitting out, I'm cool. We live in a hilly place, so we're unlikely gonna get flooded, but it was raining quite a lot. Y'all know that's a thing. Meguneta, cats and dogs, and manje, we've been wise in the past. Like, if at all you are standing in front of God's disciples, you will lack wisdom. You will lack wisdom too. It was raining cats and dogs on that day. There had been a heavy thunder, a heavy shower, and upon her coming back from work, on that day, she had to run into the house because it was raining. But already during the day, later on, I started to notice when I would open the tap, go kitchening, and also when I would flush the toilet in the bathroom and try to wash my hands. I was like, oh my goodness, I hope it doesn't last too long. I hope it's only for 5 seconds. So towards later on, Metsi was already dying off. And at that stage, you know how the rain has been these past days. If you live in Johannesburg in South Africa, just in South Africa, apparently this rain has been across the country. It'll be sunny, and then next thing it'll just start gathering clouds real quick, and then it'll rain. And then yeah, so basically there has not been any rest to anecha laundry. Do you understand? For frankly like 2 weeks or something, it was just raining on a loop for like 2 weeks. And I was like, get judgment, and clearly, but since I'm on a hill, I'm like, I'm cool, we're gonna be fine. I'm a child of God, I'm in Goshen, I'm protected. Mara, whoever is out here receiving all these hailstones, hard bade, lo and behold, the next day we be out here finding out people's cars are destroyed and everything. In Kapstadt. Okay. Hulukile he, I guess. And when she arrived, there was sun, and all of a sudden, it poured down heavy rain, and she had to run into the house because it was raining hard. She then comes in the house, realizes there's no water. Mamela, hona cats and dogs come on, and it's still gonna keep raining. You could indeed say on that day, hey, hona cats and dogs, and hona kabatla flush a toilet later. Let's put buckets outside and develop for the rain, for us to catch rainwater. Flush our toilet to get rainwater. It did not dawn on her that it's raining cats and dogs outside, so use rainwater to flush the toilet. What did my mom say? Here's my bank card. Mamela, she told me she ain't gonna give me jack. She's broke like a leg. Hey, I get a mali. So because I get a mali, Lomuntu, I can't give you anything. After all, gets a fan. The tampons eat the mayonnaise omugana. I've spent too much. She basically treated me like that. And then amanzi. Nakhona kwasendwa a communication where we were told ukuthi amanzi azobuya same night. There was a communique where we were told that the water is going to come back the same night. Last this here drinking water cut. So by the time she came back, it would only be a few hours of there being no water. There's no need for us to be buying bottled water. There's no need for us to be insisting on getting vats upon vats to flush the toilet. We just have to wait and hope and pray that we don't get the number 2s and pee and flush when the water comes back later. Nakona, since everybody's grossed out by just gazing at a toilet bowl with yellow in it, we could always just put buckets outside, collect rainwater, and flush with that. But no, she was like, here's my bank card. You said I'm not gonna buy. You said I'm not gonna buy. She was like, here's my bank card. She was kind of damp, having run into the house. And she's like, how about we go spa? How about we go shopong or flush a toilet? Where's her brain? Where's her mind? Gone. The Lord confounded her. Ask her to think her straight. First, she gets a communique. Water's gonna be back in a few hours, don't worry. And secondly, it's raining outside. But she gave me a bank card. And she was like, I'm thinking drinking water, sure, but there's more than enough water in the refrigerator, and this was just for a few hours. And so, listen, I'm not too thirsty, and when I noticed that water was running out earlier, I filled up Getle. So we've got enough for at least tonight. For however many hours, this will be gone. but it's alright if you want me to buy drinking water. I can understand that. But instead, she was like, I want you to buy 4-5 liters flush our toilet. That was literally the reasoning why she wanted me to get. I could understand buying bottled water because maybe this water cut might linger for much longer in order for us to drink. Mara, bottled and flasher. Long story short, it was typological. It was a foreshadowing. For as long as she has withheld from you money, flasher down the toilet. I remember the lady at the tops because manzi. So I went to a bottle store after perusing aisles that I don't be attending. When I bought la manzi, she was like, I got tops one about waking mo fridging, so even a frosty. The lady, the teller, was like, why you take a mazi? Because I had lots and lots of water in that trolley. And then there were no 95 liter, no 95 liter, there were only 1.5 liters, only 1.5 liters, and I got a whole bunch of them to try and make the 5 liters say 4 or 5. We'll flush a toilet. That's what she said. So I basically just kind of obeyed her command. Whatever it is that she said I must buy, right? And when I got to this tops to pay this chick at the telling point, she was like, why you take a manzi? I was like, hey, I'm gonna manzi. She's like, oh, Shem, Tina Lai honeydew, we've got water. Why ningazi abantu that live in this neighborhood? Anyway, amanzangaga nizwenza ngawo ngiyogeza ngawo oyini. I was like, mina uma wamuntela ukuthi ngizothenga lamanzi lawa ukuthi siyoflush toilet. And guess what she said? Her words verbatim. Just like that, nje ngizoflush imali. Those were her words. She was like, just like that, nje kuphela ngiyoflush imali. Listen, these things did not dawn on me as prophetic as they were happening, but I was just like, bathe nje mina ngizela ngizothenga amanzi ukuyoflush toilet. So OC. OC wako tops, it was like, just like that, you're gonna flush money. That's what she was saying. That she was basically prophesying to my mom. Just like that, flush out toilet. Now, I then said, I'm just her servant, her messenger. I'm her Eliezer. I've been told by my master to come and purchase bottled water to flush the toilet. And I'm here to purchase bottled water to flush the toilet. I can only do that. And the lady said, just like that, flush our toilet down the toilet. And indeed, I was like, kunjalo. Did not collect it in bucket water. Name, it didn't dawn on me to recommend this thing because I was very emotionally bereft. I just followed instructions. Ngaya espanga yotenga imali esizoyiflasha. And lo and behold, just before electricity came back, listen, you are not going to believe this, just a good 12 to 15 minutes before motlakase o gutla, she had grabbed those bottles, the 5 liter not 5 liter mara, the 1.5 liters a few, and go more that what's about that thing ya mo toilet seating ele we lift down ulo tshela metsi ka mo yona. She had taken that off and I tell her as many of those 1.5 liter bottles of water that I bought as she could, because I couldn't find the 5 liter because the power cut started in the day and people had already bought the big ones. So when I tell her little, I bought about, listen, as many as would make for 5 liters are like 16 or 17 or something. It was prophetic. Do you understand? That thing. And then be like, go, bottled water, Joe Bonegua, go. I tell her, I fill her to the brim, and 15 minutes later, electricity came back. Not electricity, sorry, but maybe Zang set up in a meti. 15 meager minutes later, we then heard go, plumbing, out here juicing it up a storm, squeezing itself like toothpaste out of a tube. And I was like, and so the government stuck to its guns and said, water will be back in a few hours. You were told water's going to be back in a few hours. You still went and bought water. You flushed it down the toilet. And there was a prophecy given by a chick at the spa, Tops bottle store, where I bought those bottles of water because there was such few water bottles, given that I went there around 7:30 in the evening and people had already bought all the bottled water, that I went to go and buy the liquor store. I went in the liquor store. That's the only place I could find meti. Not only place, but there was water in the main store, but I was just hedging my bets, if you know what I mean, to find as many bottles of water. It's cheaper because bottled water. So I went to the shops in order to go and get more decently priced bottles of water. Yeah, so I was even trying to save Imalia. That's what I'm getting at. That's why go next door, a question. When I respond, she's like, just like that, you're gonna flush money. And lo and behold, my mom literally flushed imali, and just within 15 minutes, the water came back. It was prophetic. God was showing me I flash, and then and realized I got a WhatsApp from Joburg Water, from the community group chat, that this water is going to be back in just a few hours. And within 15 minutes of me wasting bottles of water, flushing them that I bought at the store, the water came back. When I switched on the geyser in order to take a shower, because I imagined that I was not going to be able to shower, given that water. When I went into her bedroom, we light that geyser. She looked at me on some, this thing is going to burn the filament. You can't switch on a geyser when there is no water. I was like, you can go to kitchen, you will see. You can go to bathroom, and then I was like, no, it's okay. I'll come back later when I'm 100% sure that I'd already heard the plumbing going, whatever. So I was switching on the geyser because I thought I wasn't going to be able to shower that night. So ka switch on shower. I get bo osi le bon tate ba teng. Ka light shower bo girl bo ngwana bo nonsense. Ka light. Ka ngwaya jwanong a ke tsebe ke lumilwe ke eng mona. Anyway, whatever. Ka light geyser ya teng. And then I switched it back off. And then she woke up and switched it on again, because I said that I was gonna come back. I noticed that she switched it back on again. But essentially it dawned on her that I flushed imali. And what was the total cost of Metsi Ao? In total, I made 2 purchases, and with the purchases, I bought bottles of water at the spa, and I also bought bottles of water at the tops. So because I wanted to fulfill the mandate, she said that I must buy 4 bottles of 5 liters, 4 to 5 of 5 liters. So I could not fulfill 5 liters, 5 liters, 4 times 5 from just the purchases at Tops. So I ended up going inside spa and trying to locate Amanzi. And finally, the consultants there, the ladies that work with them, the rest of the water, because it was all over the streets, right? And so because Abuji was like, you will never buy again. I was like, yes, and here, and I need cinnamon, and happen here, and I need a face wash. And a lot of times when my mom sends me either a chocolate, anything at all, so she was aware that I was indeed going to spend on something else extra. So I had already made a determination when I went to the garage that I'm gonna try and find, not garage, but to the store, face wash. At this time, I'm gonna get face wash. Otherwise, because I had complained that earlier that day, I said to the Lord, God, my kojic acid face wash, if it listen, this your skin, yes, like a dog. This the face wash it faded. Like this pimple that was appearing here on my cheek, I was already starting to get acne here because I didn't have face wash. Face wash lackluster. Deciding next for my skin. I went to the spa, and even though I don't buy my face washes from spa, I would never ever buy anything from spa or Woolies proper. I go to Chinatown. I ought to be bargain hunting. The same face wash, I got it for 91 rands at the spa. I would probably buy it at Chinatown for maybe even 40 bucks or Godtemu for like proper. I know how to find bargains, but I at this point was like, this is my only opportunity to eradicate acne from coming on my face. I also wanted cinnamon. I was gonna buy myself cinnamon, I was gonna buy myself tampons, I was gonna buy myself face wash. I was gonna, proper, with the money that I was expecting coming my way. I was also gonna pay duties, but no, the money never came. I was also gonna pay duties, but no, the money never came. And so because the money never came, I was like, listen, this is my opportunity. Earlier that morning, after that morning, I complained when I was washing my face with their face washes that, God, I'm already starting to get acne on my cheek. I'm already starting to get a pimple over here because my face wash is fedile. I need a combination of, like I said, kojic acid. I made mention of salicylic acid. I need the face wash, the cream, they must have salicylic acid, they must have kojic acid, they must have vitamin C, they must have these 3 to eradicate acne. And then retinol, I do believe, also contributes to the eradication of acne, but largely retinol is anti-aging. But these other 3 are the ones that combat my acne, like proper. They deal with my acne. And then I also have like a, not alpha arbutin, but azelaic acid serum. And ever since getting some azelaic acid serum from Temu, my skin has actually been popping. Yeah, well, my skin was starting to get a grainy texture because I was running out of face wash. small amounts of it. Kaya go disco go spa. And I scanned the shelf, looked for a face wash that Aja might have some kind of semblance of my ingredients in it. Listen, I will take something that either has a combination of vitamin C and salicylic acid, or kojic acid and vitamin C, or kojic acid and salicylic acid. If I can get this combo, I'm good. So I go to spa, and then I look at these, like, thingamabobbies. I look at these face washes, and all of them are just these lackluster whatever. You know how Woody Spa, it's not exactly a discount, so you're not going to get your broad range of what you need. Over there, there's just going to be these lackluster face washes, stuff ponds. They said let's like the ingredients that don't make no kind of sense. Gentle magic, water fish paste. You get my point. And I was just looking at these on some, I can't just buy anything. The face wash that cutie cura. I was like, just reading the ingredients list, I was like, you don't have the actives in face wash that I need to make sure that my acne is kept at bay. That I basically wipe off all the grime off my face and get what actives I need on there. And then as I'm scanning, I land upon this like vitamin C Garnier face wash. And in the ingredients list, it's also got lauric acid, which is found in coconut oil, that also combats acne. And historically, I have used lauric acid on my face. However, as it was derived from coconut oil and it cured my acne, but then it flared back up again because of some other thing that I was using. I have gone through trial and error with my skin. I have endured trial and error with my skincare. It's literally what I'm actually trying to achieve and getting at. So I knew that lauric acid works. It had mysteric acid. Listen, I stand corrected. Lauric acid is certainly one among them. I missed the uppermost ingredients. It of course had it was some fruit extract that functioned as the vitamin C derivative, and like proper just a chunk of these like acids, and then somewhere along the way was also, listen to this, salicylic acid. I was like, okay, listen, I have got out here even the banger of a benefit of lauric acid. I didn't expect to see this in this face wash, but it's also got salicylic acid and vitamin C. So while there might be no kojic acid, this'll do. And if at all this face wash that really sort of kind of kills it for me, I might even keep it for life. Yo, guys, within 2 days, as in the top right, my face just glowed. My sockets really sunken. My heart is broken. I'm walking around dragging my body through the mud, but I can't help but notice that my face is popping because my face wash that I bought, I would have just indeed, predictably, purchased the same face wash I've been using all this time. And we saw kojic acid. I was just gonna keep on using that face wash, but now I bought this one, Garnier, and yo, game changer. My skin was already clear, but now it's popping. The texture, it has smoothed out. I was complaining, oh god, I don't know why my skin is so grainy. It's because I can naturally and I can't afford to buy one of my skincare Garaga face wash and as an interim, a quick fix while I am waiting for money to buy my proper face wash. Yaba such a game changer that now I am not moving away from that Garnier face wash. Listen, I'm not ever leaving it. It is my official new face wash. It slays even the one-year kojic acid. It is a game changer. It's a banger. I was like, whoa, what, like, Papa, look at my skin. Like, I'm like, right now, this here camera, in recorder, in a makeup, I am plain face, and I'm just like, my skin is popping. It's popping. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I was like, I complained earlier on. I was like, I lamented. I sent a petition upwards. Do not be anxious for anything, but in all things by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. Make your requests known to God, and his peace, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. I supplicated. I was like, God, I'm getting acne. I was supposed to buy face wash and I haven't been able to get it. And now can I lip pimple? And what's about it? They're busy doing face curses, these injustice. Hadina khotso wa di tseba di pogile nkare dinkonkodi ka go ngenga mo strateng e Jesu Kriste wa ga Nazareta di la ka dinkonkodi tsena because they've put acne on my face. Ding pele di pimple le modi. This acne thing that was popping over here and another one that was also popping here on my cheek. More limo ke had these first fruits of this acne. Next thing is all over my cheek. Njaki yo e itse na ke tlo reka. Next thing boloi ba satananyana ya tshirele ya go YouTube englo ileng sfatlego e tlo ba happy go ke hlaile di pimple again lang hlanyetsa lang kutlo Anyway, whatever. Yeah, I complained to God, and the Lord then kills 2 birds with 1 stone. They turn off water. When the water's turned off, she gives me her bank card. I go and I buy all the liters of water that she says I must buy, and I also get face wash and cinnamon. When I come back, no complaints. Waflasha amanzi, waflasha amanzi. 15 minutes later, amanzi wabuya. But you see, Providence worked out. What was that providence? The providence was speaking volumes along the lines of, there will be a power cut on this particular day. Not power, but water cut. There will be a water cut on this particular day. These who have said you are not going to spend anything, who are going to bring acne on your face, as a result of you not even having your face wash creams, they're not going to be able to overwhelm the fact that the person that is withholding from you money will give you her bank card to go and buy water. And when you're there, you're going to buy. Just that basically. You're gonna buy. I gave this guy wins a witchcraft spell to say I will never buy again. I was given a bank card to go and buy, and I bought just shortly afterwards. And among the things that I bought were a face wash that was a game changer on my face, so it worked out for my good. And the water that I bought for her, she flushed it down the toilet. So I bought something that works for me, while what I was buying for her to deal with her issue, she flushed it. So I will be kept and maintained. But those who are squandering my servants will throw their money down a toilet. That's what you guys do in the occult, isn't it? La loya bazalwani ure. You go to Malawi, you go to Ghana, you go and see Nana Kwaku Bonsami. You spend tens of thousands of rands, accommodation right next to flights, Hololoya, Belikhutla back to Johannesburg, Mankada lapho zinja, imali yenu iyavuza, njengemali echithwe toilet, while abazalwane get theirs anyway, while abazalwane get what they want anyway. You spend tens of thousands of rands